Well, hello, folks. It is Friday, the 6th of Friday. It is Bandcamp Friday. I see I have a couple of contributions and one sale. Well, a couple sales already. Thank you. Sure could use more. Really could, folks. I'll leave the links again. Um, on Facebook, Dave Newhouse of the Muffins posted a link to my latest digital release from the archives. Really appreciate that, Dave. Very kind of him. Very kind of you. If you see this, Dave, thank you. Another reminder that the new Cloud Over Jupiter album is officially on sale now through Bandcamp. Jerry King's project. This is his latest. Jerry with his wife Michelle and a cast of some great people. Really glad to be a part of it. Cheers. I see the comments. I appreciate them all. And I will say something about the person who brought up Moby. Well, you've seen Moby, but you've never seen me. And if I had access to the equipment that he does, I could blow him away. You've never seen me. That's not arrogance. That's experience speaking. I'm good. I am. So is Moby. I like what I do better. And there's people who are more, obviously more experienced, have more this, more that than me. And I like what they do. And yet I can say there's other folks like that I still like what I do better. Excuse me a second. My primary motivation for making music is for my own fulfillment. It's not to make a hit, to try to write a song for a woman that I met or something like that. It's merely to make music, and that's my motivation. And I'm glad that over the years I've become more confident in assessing my own abilities and talent. It feels good. So we'll keep it real. Yesterday I played a couple of records. Dreams. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. It has a lot to do with my life. I discovered this through a sampler on Columbia Records back in 1970. I think it was literally 1970. Different Strokes. And it had Dreams on it and Soft Machine and a couple of other things that blew my mind. So this is probably my third or fourth copy of this, buying it. This was my introduction to the musicians Billy Cobham, John Abercrombie, the Brecker Brothers. Jazz rock with the Rene Magritte pastiche cover. Love it. Love this album. Love it. I'll do a poll, but yesterday I did a poll because it was another new record that I put away, and I have some more new records that I put away that really I still could be more familiar with. The latest Ride album, Interplay. And I do like this band, and I like them. I've shared before that when they first came to America, I saw Ride with Slow Dive. The guys in Ride were so nice. Partied with them afterwards. They were really nice to me. Memorably so. It was almost like they were trying to invite me to be a part of their gang. It really felt nice. I like this album. I like a lot of the words as well as the music. I love the sonics of this. It's noisy and loud and really guitar-y. Real good. The only other thing that I played yesterday, so I like to keep it real, was some Beatles. Beatles Past Masters. This is a recent addition, because honestly, when they not started, but often when I would see stuff like this, it would just feel like, well, they're just cashing in. And so I'd pass. I had a chance to pick this up used a while back. I just love the Beatles. It is very much nostalgic for me, as well as still appreciating their craft, their songwriting craft, and the nuances of their relationships and what was happening between the people in this band at that time. I love it. Sides 3 and 4 were particularly what I was getting into. Paperback Writer, Rain, The Inner Light by George Harrison. Still, to this day, George Harrison is my favorite Beatle. The way that Billy Preston really augmented their sound when they did Get Back and Don't Let Me Down. Excuse me. Love the Beatles forever. I've been tempted to show some of my records to refresh people's memory, but I think I'll just encourage folks to explore the Bandcamp site. And like I said, if you don't like the music, just make a contribution through it to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated, folks. It would. Someone yesterday commented on my T-shirt that it's from a store in Canada. Someone from Canada sent it to me. I appreciate the love from Canada. Thank you, people. So, yesterday was also my sister Adrian's 25th wedding anniversary, which I forgot to mention in the video, but judging from the pictures that she's posted online from yesterday, she and Floyd Norman, the Disney legend, first black animator to work for Disney. He's much older than my sister, but they've been married for 25 years. Happy anniversary to them. It looks like they had a wonderful day, and I love them very, very much. Good people. So I'm going to just go over here. I'm not going to look. It's so much better of a pull, more interesting of a pull when I don't. Okay, there's two stuck together. Let's find out what I pulled. And let's see what. Oh. How do you say his name? One Otrix Point Never. This one is called Magic. Took me a while to get into this. I've been seeing video and reading about him in the music press. So when I had a chance to pick this up used, I did. Didn't quite understand. I love those graphics. Took me a minute. Honestly, it took me a minute to get my head around what this guy's doing. Sample heavy. Yellow vinyl. Sample heavy, but interestingly very affecting and at times emotional. This is a good example of the sort of thing that, again, I really like, where it's like, what is this? It really struck me as new to my ears. I had to get oriented to it. These two are stuck together. I have two of his albums. Age of. And it comes in this plastic bag with graphics on it, so that's part of the cover. This one I'm not as familiar with as the other one. So this one needs a good listen. Interesting artist. I noticed that, I had enthused black vinyl. Last year I had enthused about Lorraine, discovering her and her album, which was one of my albums of the year last year, I Killed Your Dog. He's on that, and he's worked with her, and that makes sense. They strike me as maverick musicians doing different stuff. Very cool. Very cool. Cheers. The coffee is good this morning. So in the news, of course, the big thing they're going on and on about, and of course it's already gotten political, is the latest shooting. I just say it may seem like a simplistic view, but it is my observation that one of the reasons the violence and the negative aspects of social life don't improve is because there is not an honest message of change coming from the top down. We see the exact opposite. The people at the very top of the economic chain are feeding heavily at the trough, changing nothing, making sure that their lifestyle is intact at the expense of everyone else. As we see in politics, there are people's ethics are out the window. It's, people are acting like spoiled, entitled children as opposed to mature, objective adults, squabbling over what they want and what they want to get, using the common populace as pawns in the game. And it is not going to improve. That's all I got to say about that. I keep observing, though. So since it was a holiday Monday, which I really didn't take much note of, my garbage is picked up on Thursdays, except on holidays it's a day late, and so that's what we're hearing today on Friday. I'll do another poll, even though it's just right here. Well, it's just right here, and it's like I hardly poll here because to me it's like, well, I just really know what this stuff is, but let's just pull what it is. Yeah, see, I've done this before. Rupert Hine, producer, and he had that band Quantum Jump. Good stuff. They're making a lot of noise, aren't they? What else to share? Because I check out the music news worldwide through a few outlets, but nothing is coming to mind. So I'll do one more poll, and I'm going to get out of here. And just again remind you that it is Bandcamp Friday. I really appreciate your support. What I poll? Uncle science fiction. Well, here's another one where when it came out, there was a certain amount of hype about it. And then the first thing I heard from this was the song that he did with Radiohead singer, Rabbit in Your Headlights. I liked that. When I finally got the album, I was disappointed at first. It was kind of like, it's just like a mishmash. Unlike One Otrix Point Never. This one really came into focus to me. This one, their later stuff, there's a later album after this that I don't have on vinyl. I have it in my playlist on my computer where things have developed. So this had a lot of promise, but it was like, kind of like, what's really happening here? I do like it though. I do. So I'll go ahead and respond to this in the video. Apparently, someone who has never watched me before asked me about mainstream artists like Earth, Wind, and Fire and Van Halen. I always respond like this to people. Watch my older videos. And why are you asking me about them? Why is that important to you? You know, why is it important that I acknowledge bands that everyone knows about? I already have in past videos. I think that it's important, and I'm happy to be one of the people who is pointing you in a different direction that everybody else is following. Just like I'm taking back on that, to that comment that, I'm not as good as Moby. Well, no, that's an opinion. They said it in there. It's just their opinion. I appreciate that, because my opinion is different. And it's fine, There's just so much music and art in the world besides the mainstream artists that everybody knows about. So that's why I don't talk about them for the most part, okay? You already know about them. Let me test what I'm saying and see if I pull one of those artists. No, I don't. See? My collection is a library, and it in and of itself is a work of art, an expression of my life. This is a German rock band, Kin Ping Meh. Their second album, ugly cover. They cover the Beatles on here, Come Together. They're listed as a prog rock band, but they're not that proggy. It's just more of a German feel to rock and roll, and they're good musicians. This is collectible. If you look this up on Discogs, this is a collectible album. Partly, I think, because of the label, Zebra. Great label. Interesting stuff on the label. So there's one for you. I'm going to go ahead and test myself, Let me see if I can embarrass myself. I kind of doubt it, but let me see. Let me just go again. I know what all this stuff is, but let me go here. This is all so very familiar. What do we have? Well, look here. Look at here. Here's a name that everybody knows. Elton John. And here's his, I think his very first album, Empty Sky. It's an original. I don't think it's one where you can see through. This one is pretty thick. But DJM, a lot of these English pressings had this type of vinyl that you hold up to the light and it's red. Now, let me tell you about this, because in my history, there's a story. I've told it many times that as a kid, I forget how old we were. I'm pretty young. 7 or 8 years old. With my brothers and sisters, we used to live in the south side of Omaha, and we lived close to downtown. So we would walk downtown from home to go to the public library. And on the way, we would pass by at the time, the popular radio station, KOIL. We loved the station because one of their DJs was, I forget his name, but he was called the leader of the Beatles. And he played a lot of Beatles, and we just liked him. So one day we are heading to the library, and we spot the station, and for some reason we decided to go to it, to go inside. It had a courtyard, and it was just very kind of otherworldly. And interestingly, I believe it was the secretary who invited us in and asked us if we wanted to take a tour. Well, sure. At the end of the tour, they gave us a huge box of 45s. Well, that was my introduction to promos. I love promos, promotional copies. And then after that, I went to the station at least 2 more times and one other radio station to do that, to see if they would give me free promos, and each time they did. If it wasn't the first trip to Coil, it was the second one where in the bunches of records they gave me was a promo 45 by Elton John, the song Lady Samantha. I don't have it anymore. I've told that story about going through a transition with my sister regarding blackness, and don't have it anymore. But when I first heard that song, before I heard anything else, I had it, and I really liked it. I liked his voice. So I like Elton John, okay? There you go. Do I have Earth, Wind & Fire in the collection? Yes. Do I have Van Halen in the collection? No. Have I seen Van Halen? Yes. When they were the opening band, along with Montrose, opening for Journey. And Van Halen just completely wiped the floor. Those other bands just kicked everyone's ass. They were stunningly good. Turns out that even back then, management were trying to get Sammy Hagar to be the singer for Van Halen. How about that? Here you go. One more. Over here. Over there. Here. Let's see. What's in here? Boy, this is jammed together. What is this? Oh. Well, I had just played. It's still sitting out. I had just played this CD by Pat Martino, Nightwings. Here's his live album. And this is my brother Patrick's, an heirloom. This was his copy. Played to death. There's not even an inner sleeve. I gotta find an inner sleeve of this. I have other Pat Martino albums that were mine, but this is, again, I blended his records into mine. Excellent jazz guitarist. If you don't know this man, his style is immediately recognizable and fiery. Excellent player. I love music. I love life. I love people. So that's what I want to share today. Please, folks, not just me, but many other people could use your support and your ears. And I'm glad that Bandcamp Friday is happening this month. Like I said, I've had a couple of hits already. People have, I have one to sell. Let me see if I can pull one up quickly. I just have so much stuff in the house. Probably not to show you the CDs, but I can show you this one right quick. Did I move it? I did. I moved it. The RAF album is back here. But I see where Sean shares that he plays RAF and Digital Sex on the radio in his town. Thank you, sir. But I pulled this for one last pull of the day. This is an artist called Rael, R-A-L-E, Whispering Gallery. I forget how I came across this album. See, like I say, when people ask me about these mainstream artists, you know anything about this or stuff like this that's out there, that's just as interesting, not commercial, but artistically fulfilling. I have to play this because I cannot remember what it sounds like, but I kept it, which means it has merit. It looks like it's probably ambient. I'll have to play it to be reminded. This is the fun of collecting and listening, discovering, and seeing all the different ways of expressing oneself that can happen besides following standard blues progressions or copying other stuff. I'll bring up Rick Beato again because he had a recent video where he was asking, isn't this stealing? Where he played some recent hits, I think Dua Lipa or one of those kind of people, where they quoted melodic lines that you could match very easily to something older like In Excess and Something Else. There's just so much expression going on to think that so many people are trapped in this little box of what the mainstream has fed them for years. To me, it sucks. Explore, be adventurous, try different things. I love it. I love it. And shit, let me do another poll. This is over here because I have stuff that may surprise people. Might surprise myself. What did I get here? I didn't look. Well, this is a recent. I'll show it again. I'll take it out of the bag. This is a recent addition to my Pharoah Sanders section. Pharoah Sanders, John Hicks, Curtis Lundy, Idris Muhammad, Africa. This is a reissue. Looks like, yeah, 1987 is when this originally came out. And this is a Music on Vinyl reissue. I reviewed this recently because I haven't had this that long. And Pharoah Sanders was, rest in peace, he was the man. In my estimation, just as much of a giant as John Coltrane. Just my opinion. Which is fine that we have different opinions. We don't have to take it personally. That's the thing. That's the challenge, is to not take things personally. One thing I'll say this as an artist is that I am at the point where I'm aware that what I do is what I do and it's good. So I like hearing from people who like it. I'm not interested in people who don't like it because I know that there are people who won't like what I do, and I don't care about that, okay? I hope you understand. It's like, it's not so much that people with well, I don't like it because so and so and so. Like, there's something that I can learn from that. Maybe I can, but I already qualified it. I make this music for personal fulfillment, not trying to make a hit, not trying to be a commercial success. You know, it's one of those things that we, as someone who makes art, you always hope that you can be appreciated by many and that maybe, you know, you can generate something from it. But that's not the motivation. I think it's important to keep saying that. So my music really is fulfilling to me. And I appreciate support. If I was out there, like I said, trying to make a commercial hit, criticism would maybe make a difference, but that's not what I'm doing. This is personal fulfillment, and I'm sharing it with you. That's what I'm doing. Cheers. Okay, please make Bandcamp Friday happen for me and for others. Thank you.